The original teachings of the Christ, number 24. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the original teachings of the Christ, video number 24 in this rather epic series. 24, this being the 24th episode of the series that goes through the teachings of the Christ in chronological order of the New Testament, how it was actually really written, not the ludicrosity that we've been presented here in the modern world. So this is number 24 of the original teachings of the Christ, and we're probably getting close to the end because we're already in Luke. And when you get into the epistles and the epistles of Paul, there's not going to be much teachings of the Christ. We're about to complete this series, I think, within the next little bit, especially if I would start doing it again instead of leaving it forever and a day. If you're in the Tampa Bay area or want to be this weekend, I'll be with Halo Marquise at the Wagon Wheel Flea Market on Park Boulevard. It's in just let me think of directions, just east of Starkey Road on Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park. You can't miss it. It's huge. We'll be there Saturday. We'll be there Sunday. We're in Space Charlie 188, which is inside on the main aisle. And we'll be doing our dog and pony show. We'll be having some fun. Just two guys trying to change the world. So come on down to the Wagon Wheel Flea Market if you'd like to meet yours truly, or if you'd like to meet Halo Marquise and get yourself a hold of some good stuff that will change your life. So let's talk about the original teachings of the Christ. And let's talk about what he was talking about here in Luke chapter 4. And I was a little bit surprised to see that Luke, there's a lot of dung in Luke. I had to go through Luke 1, Luke 2, Luke 3, Luke 4. Now I'm in Luke 4. I'm not totally convinced. I'll be honest with you. Of course, I'm always honest with you, so that's stupid to say, but I'll be frank with you. And I'm always frank with you, but anyway, I'm not sure that this isn't dung either. I'm not so sure that this story, it probably never happened, but it could have happened. And I think that it should go under diamond because it does teach us some interesting information about ourselves. And it talks about the Christ being full of the Spirit, returning from Jordan, where he was baptized, and he was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. And for 40 days and 40 nights, he fasted, didn't eat anything, and he was hungry afterwards, which to me is like, duh. And it says he was tempted of the devil. Now, one thing you have to look at when you're looking at this, it's the devil, horns, pitchfork, all that stuff. And he was tempted by where is it? He was led into the wilderness, and he was tempted by the devil, the diabolo. What does that mean? The slanderous, the slanderer, slanderous, the diablos. It's from 1225, the slanderer, the complainer, the accuser. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right here and right now. You don't need a pointy-horned, pointy pitchforked, pointy-tailed, red-suited devil to be victimized, ladies and gentlemen, to be victimized by an accuser, to be victimized by a slanderer, to have someone throw rocks at you, to have someone gossip about you, to have someone slander of you. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You don't even have to be with anybody else to become the victim of a diabolo. You can be just by yourself, and you can become the victim of slander. You can be by yourself and become the victim of complaints. You can be by yourself and become the victim of accusations. You can be by yourself and have rocks thrown at you. You can be by yourself and be slandered and gossiped about. Because, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We are our own diabolos. We are our own devils. People say, well, Jeff, the devil, the devil. Let me tell you something right here, right now. This will change your life. The only devil that most of you will ever fight is the one that looks back at you in the mirror every time you look in it. You're your own devil. You're your own slanderer. You're your own gossiper. You're your own accuser. You throw rocks at yourself. Think about it. How many of you, some of you right now, I don't know why I'm so dumb. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know why I'm so bad, sad. I don't know why no one loves me. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. And you're throwing rocks at yourself. You're so stupid. You're so ugly. You're so messed up. And we all do it to ourselves. And sometimes you think you're making great progress spiritually, and you are. But every now and then, man, this diabolos jumps up and kicks you in the teeth. And it's you. So my point in this whole thing is, number one, give yourself a break. Be nice to yourself. And here's something else I'll help you with. When you start hearing these accusations and you start hearing these slanders and you start hearing this gossip in your head about other people, and I'm talking to myself here right now, as well as to some of you, you got to realize that's your own diabolos speaking to you. It's really not that person that you're talking about. It's really not that person that you're worried about. It's you. It's your own diabolos. And you know what? You can slay your diabolos. I don't know if you want to slay them. It's your fight or flight, low-end reptilian. It's your fight or flight, low-end reptilian. You got to let that shit go. Let's get back to the text real quick and show you what I'm talking about. So here was the Christ, okay? And he'd just been 40 days and 40 nights fasting. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But he was 40 days and 40 nights fasting. 40 days and 40 nights. Here's an interesting thing. He was fasting because he was trying to control his diabolos. And fasting's a good way. Fasting is a good way to quiet your own diabolos. Intermittent fasting is a good way to quiet your own diabolos. Getting yourself in shape is a good way to quiet your own diabolos. I'll tell you, I'll guarantee you, the fatter you are, the louder your diabolos is. The worse shape you're in, the louder your internal diabolos is. And yes, some people are super skinny and super in shape and still have loud diabolos, but that's their own damn fault. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you, I'm not saying that it's this way all the time. I'm trying to give you a spiritual principle. The better physical condition you're in, the easier it is for you to control your diabolos. Doesn't mean that diabolos is never going to jump up and trip you up, and you're never going to look at yourself and say, oh man, I blew that one. But the better physical condition you're in, the easier it is to control your diabolos. So the Christ, I don't know what kind of shape he was in. He was a bricklayer, a mason, so he's probably in pretty good shape. If he was real, but that's another story, isn't it? And he's fasting, getting his diabolos under control. And when he was done fasting, he was hungry. And the devil said unto him, again, it wasn't the devil, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't that devil. It was his own diabolos saying, ooh, dude, make these stones into bread. And let me tell you something. We're just going to get practical here. If you've just been on an extended fast, the worst thing you could do is eat some bread. Trust me, I haven't fasted 40 days and 40 nights. I have been on some fasts, and you don't want to end your fast with bread. Trust me, don't do it. So your diabolos usually gives you bad ideas. Even in the most practical, mundane. After you fasted, don't break it with bread. Bad idea. So the Christ is saying, look, bro, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the divine. And sometimes your diablos is giving you information that's like bread at the end of a fast. Bad information. That's why I've started working. I think I have 1 or 2 spots left. And if you've contacted me and I haven't responded, contact me again. I'm working with, I know 2 people. There might be 3 spots left, but I think I've ignored a couple people because I've been busy. So if you want to work to get your diablos under control, if you want to get your analytical mind straightened out, if you want to get your comforter activation, if you want to get uninterrupted connection to the divine database, get with me. I'm asking you to commit to 4 to 7 sessions. Go to jeffreydarty.com, get help now. And if you want to do it, do it. But this is what the Christ was saying. He's saying, look, I'm not living by the bad advice that my diablos, my fallen inner man gives me, but I'm living by the words that I know spring from the divine. And when you're in your inner mind, you can hear both. It's easy to hear the fallen man, diablos, eat some bread. It's easy to hear that one. It's easy to hear her. It's easy to hear him. It's not so easy to hear the word of the divine. So there's some, this is why I say this is, even though the story probably did not happen, it's probably a made up story. And yet, even though it's a made up story, there's some great spiritual principles here. Number 1, even if you're the Christ, even if you think you're 4th member of the Trinity, which of course the Trinity is a lie, I'm being silly. Even if you think that you are the most spiritual thing on 2 feet, even if you're surprised that you haven't just ascended already, even if you're surprised that even if you're surprised that you're still in human flesh because you're so spiritual, you still need to do some work, because even the Christ, Elohim manifested in flesh, if he was real, was doing spiritual work. He was fasting. Now, if anybody didn't need to fast, it would have been the Christ. And that's why he probably wouldn't have if he'd have been here. And, it's not a real story, bro, sis. But it shows you, it doesn't matter how much you think you're like the Christ, still do some spiritual work. And no matter how much you think you're like the Christ, your diabolos is still gonna F with you. I know that's a bad word, but it's probably the most appropriate word I can think of right now. No matter how spiritual you are, your diabolos is still gonna F with you. And you're still gonna have to resist your diabolos. You're gonna have to say, look, I'm not eating bread after a fast, and I'm not eating what you're feeding me. It's not true. It's not real. It's a lie. I'm not buying what you're selling. I'm not living by what you say. I'm not living by what they say. I'm living by the words that I know spring from the voice of the divine. I'm not listening to my reactive mind. That's a key for somebody. I'm not listening to my reactive mind. I'm listening to my analytical mind. My analytical mind has done the math and knows, dude, chick, chill. But your reactive mind is like that little yip, 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 yip. Those dogs you want to stomp. I know that's kind of graphic, but you felt it too. Don't look at me like you've never felt it. So don't listen to that diabolos. Listen to the words that you know come from the divine. What are we doing over here in the chat room? It's a nice little break. Let's see. Kind of like saying break your mirror and get bad luck. Why do you buy that stuff? Sandra D, hello. The heroin epidemic is rampant. Yep. I wouldn't recommend kratom either. Don't do heroin. Cures heroin addiction. Not doing heroin cures heroin addiction. Oh, good. Congratulations to you, skies above. I do too, Cindy. A priest Elohim contacted me by text. Yeah, I would probably question that. Act, don't react. Brian Parker, tactical sovereignty, very well stated. So let's get back into this for a little bit. I'm going to spend a little bit more time with you today on this. Nice. I've been confirmed at the Hard Rock Hotel next Thursday night in Orlando, Florida. Anyway, sorry about that. Got distracted for just a second. It was only a second. I'll blame the devil. All right, so, and the devil took him up on a high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said, all this power I'll give you, and the glory of them, for that which is delivered to me, and to whomsoever I'll give it, I give it. So if you'll worship me, all will be yours. And Jesus said, get thee behind me, Satan. It's written, and you shall only worship the Lord your God. Obviously, this is proof of a flat earth. Obviously, this is proof of the flat earth, because the devil could not have taken Jesus up onto a mountain and shown him the whole world if the world wasn't flat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the heights. See what I did with that? That is the heights of ridiculosity that flat earth theorists will go to prove it's a flat earth. Bro, chick, if you got to use that verse to prove a flat earth, let that shit go. You look stupid. This story never even happened, yo. And you're trying to make your hobby horse doctrine out of scriptures like this. That's just stupid, yo. Anyway, sorry about that. I threw that in for free. These are the reasons why I have 13,000 subscribers and not 33,000 subscribers. But we're going to get there. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. It's so simple what this really says. And his Diablos, taking him up on a high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. I've been there. I've been on this mountain. I'm standing on top of this mountain. First time I got asked to be on Coast to Coast. I went on Coast to Coast, talked to millions of people, sold lots of books. I was on the mountaintop. Ha! Boom, boom, boom. I'm on the mountaintop. All the kingdoms of the world, they were mine. And I was so strong and so powerful, I wanted to worship me. Oh, you're so good, Jeff. You look good. You smell good. You talk good. You do everything so good. There's nobody as good as you. Oh, man, you're good. We've all been on that mountaintop. Damn, I'm good. Damn, I'm good. And we think that we got all the world right here in the palm of our little hand. We own it all. All power, all glory. It's mine. I got it. I'm so good. I don't even need a God. I'm just going to worship me. Woo! That's how Ric Flair feels. Woo! 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 That's how Ric Flair feels. I'm so good, I'm just going to worship me. If that's never happened to you, it will. And when it does, you better look yourself in the mirror and say, you dumbass, get behind me. Get behind me. You're not as good as you think you are. And this kind of goes against what I usually teach. You're probably not, you don't want to worship yourself, okay? I'm sorry. Love yourself, be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, be happy with yourself, be proud of yourself. You've done a lot of things, but you don't want to worship yourself. That's just silly. And sometimes when people say things about you, or when things happen to you, or when you invent things in your mind, And it really upsets you, isn't it? Because these things are choosing not to worship you. Well, why did they say such a thing? They should be falling at my feet. Don't they know that I am the greatest, the smartest? Don't they know that even when I pass gas, it smells like roses? Don't they know this? Don't make yourself a sacrifice. Get off the cross. We need the wood. And don't put yourself on the throne, because that's just dumb. Celebrate your victories. But here's a key. The strength from yesterday's victory is not sufficient to win today's battle. So don't worship yourself. Keep yourself in a place where you realize, oh, I need to keep myself straight. And then I got to finish up with this. And then he brought him to Jerusalem, set him on the pinnacle of the temple. Said, just throw yourself down. Because when you're like, I'm the greatest, I'm so good. And then you find out you're not the greatest, and you feel like jumping off the pinnacle of the temple. You realize, man, I blew it. I screwed up. I did bad. I did wrong. I messed up. And you just want to jump off the pinnacle of the temple. You want to find the highest place you can and jump off. And remember, the fall doesn't kill you, but it is the sudden stop at the end. It'll do it every time. I might as well go ahead and jump because he gives his angels charge over me, and I bash my foot against a stone. And even if I die, it's got to be better than this. No. Don't do the suicide thing, or you're coming right back to do it all over again. I guarantee you that no matter how bad it seems to be right now, it will not be any better if you jump off the pinnacle of the temple. Just won't be any better. Don't tempt the divine. And then the diabolos gave up the tempting and left him for a season. So let's watch this, okay? Here's the Christ working on himself. Even though he's the Christ, he's working on himself. And even though he's the Christ, and even though he's working on himself, he still has to battle some diabolos, right? But he's able to overcome this diabolos. And then just a little reminder, if you ever think that you're the best thing on 2 feet, you're not. Be careful. Be careful. And then if you ever feel like you're the worst thing on 2 feet, you're not. Take it easy on yourself. Be good to you. And if you can realize that even though you are CHRIS, all you're needing is a T, and some of you are CHRIS, and all you're missing is the cross thing. You're so good. You're so holy. But even though that's you, you still need to do some fasting. You still need to do some meditating. You still need to listen to the Christian Whistleblower. You still need to learn to say no to some of the things that crop up in your head. And even if you become really convinced that you're the best thing on 2 feet, you're not. Stay humble, bro. Stay humble, chick. And if you think you should just end it all, don't do it. But if you can realize, okay, I'm growing, but I still got some work to do. If you can realize, yeah, I'm celebrating my victories, but I know that I'm not there yet. And if you can say, you know what, I messed that one up, but I'm going to get back up, then your diabolos comes under control and ends the temptation. They leave you. This is where we want to go. We want to be to the place where the diabolos ends the temptation and departs from us. This is called being in control of your own being. B-E-A-N. You're in control of your own being. You're in control of your own dome. This is comforter activated. This is connected to divine database. This is analytical mind driving the ship. This is reactive mind under subjection. And then what do? You return in power. Your fame goes about all the region. You're glorified by everybody because you're getting it right. And then you got to go right back up to here and remember, oh, yeah, I'm not the greatest. I'm just connected to the greatest. And guess what? You're still going to get rejected, so they'll keep you straight. Anyway, that was pretty decent teaching right there. That was pretty decent teaching right there. If I say so myself, and I just did. Delaney Jackson says, sit down, bitch, and be humble. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Let's see if anybody threw rocks at me. Mount Narcissist. The rods just turned and pointed at Jeff without me saying anything. Wow. Did anyone say, man, squirrel? There you go. That's about as good as I got right there. I hoped it helped some of you. I know it helped me. I'll be back with some more broadcast excellence today. Right now, it's time for a sandwich. I'm hungry. And don't worry, I didn't come off a long fast, so it's okay to eat a little bread. It's early in the day, and I want a sandwich. So I think I'm going to go get a sandwich unless cooler heads prevail when I get over to the grocery store wearing my Elvis t-shirt. Boom. Love you guys. You're awesome. I appreciate you. It's an honor to me to see you coming to this channel. Please subscribe. Please like. Please share. And you might want to watch this again and get it right. Say no to Diablos. Is there a Macarena Diablos song? Dude, that's awesome. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, encouraging you to guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru, ask questions, question answers. You're the Gospel Truth Army. I salute you. Thank you. Thank you very much.